All right, we're here at my outdoor urban worm bag, and as you can see, we have a pretty big distance from the top all the way to the bottom. And the last time we were in here, we gave them an absolutely huge feeding because it had been, I think, more than 2 months since we had fed them last. So what we're gonna do is we are just gonna kind of look and see how the worms are doing, and we're also gonna give them a pretty sizable feeding because it's been 30 days since we were in here last. What I wanna do is give them a lot of bedding and food to kind of boost production and the population in here since we are hitting the summer months. And if you notice this is our bait cup that we've been using, and what I've done is put this in our storage and then I'll dump all the worms in here. So the last time we were in here, we put a lot of shredded cardboard and paper towel rolls, some napkins and some more paper towels, and then we put in a ton of food scraps and other things to include Chaeto algae from our saltwater fish tank, red Russian kale, some lettuce stalks, banana peels and bananas themselves, along with tomatoes and pepper tops, some tomato peels, and a bunch of mandarin oranges. So it'll be fun to see if they ate all those. And then finally, we put in some celery, some grapes, asparagus, strawberry tops, and onions. And we're just gonna go ahead and see if any of that stuff is left, because right now what I'm seeing is lots of castings and lots of great compost worms. I've got both red wigglers and blue worms in here, and they're doing a fantastic job. I think in the winter months, the red wigglers do really well, and in the summer months, the blue worms do really well. And the red wigglers, I'll tell you what, they are just a great worm all around for all temperatures. And I am loving seeing the population we have in here. So we can feed them a lot. So let's keep digging in and see how they did down the center, because I know we put just an enormous amount of shredded cardboard and other stuff for carbon for them. And I'm smelling just a faint bit of orangey citrusy smell. And that's because we put in a ton of those and I'm not seeing any of them. So if you're wondering, can you put oranges or citrus into a worm bin? The answer is absolutely yes, but I would say probably better to wait till it's kind of mature and just kind of give them a little bit at first. This bin has probably somewhere between 5,000 and 8,000 worms, so you're not going to want to give a bunch of citrus to a worm bin that only has about 1,000 worms. But what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of digging down because I want to get on the sides and make sure I don't have any big clumps like this that might not go down the center. So this is fantastic. I'm really happy with what I'm seeing. I know that I could probably harvest another 15 to 20 pounds again, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to kind of dig around. So let me do that and then we'll get back to our feeding. Look at that. That right there is the pumpkin stem that we put in ages ago. In fact, right now it's May, and clearly we probably put this in sometime around the end of October. So I'm seeing a lot of our kind of bigger bedding, and that's fine. What we're gonna do is lift that up, and you don't have to mix it around like you just saw me do. You can just kind of put stuff in, but I'm trying to get it away from the sides because for a while there I wasn't really paying attention and it was kind of funneling down the center. So this is looking great. I'm really happy about being able to put paper and cardboard and, you know, these tubes in here, and they kind of eventually disappear. These look whole, but you can see they are getting demolished. So let's set up and add some more fresh bedding. So we're going to start with a bunch of shredded cardboard. I'll just kind of spread that all around just like that. And then I'll take my recycling box and put a few more in there. And I'll break it up just a little bit, but in reality what I'm trying to do is kind of treat this like a garbage can and just kind of throw anything that's recyclable and that the worms will eat directly in. So something you don't see me do a whole lot of, and that is spray down the bin. And I really don't need to add moisture. What I'm doing right here is I am adding a solution of mosquito dunks in here, and I keep that in my rain barrel so I don't get mosquitoes, but we have found that it also keeps gnats away and fungus flies. So let's get to the fun part. Let's go ahead and feed them our food scraps. And most of this is kind of the carrots and our lettuce that bolted and some of the kale that we have. And then of course we're always going to have bananas and apple peels. Looks like we've got a little bit of a cucumber and some yellow squash. We had a pretty good harvest of that this year. And then we're going to add this odd little thing. We went to the strawberry festival and they had all kind of carny food, and I think some cheesy fries were in here, and I thought, you know what, let's see if this recycles. It looks like it's made out of kind of a cardboard kind of material, so we're going to put that and we're going to add food to here. So in we go with a bunch more bananas and lettuce and all kinds of other fun stuff like cucumbers that we grew, and of course strawberry tops, which my worms absolutely love. So we're just gonna kind of pile it on like that. And then here is the ultimate. It is that time of year where watermelon is in all the grocery stores, and we're actually growing it, but I just haven't had any ripe yet. And we're gonna put that right on top as well. That is definitely gonna release a whole bunch of moisture into the bedding in this thing right here. So next we're gonna go in with some amendments, and I'm just gonna give them a whole generous portion of this. It's just some, I think, peaches and cream oatmeal that had expired. And then we're gonna go in with some of our used coffee grounds, and it's got a whole lot of mold. This is probably not good for me to breathe. I need to use these more often. Woo! Hopefully the mold will help break down some of the food for the worms and they'll all enjoy it. But note to self, don't keep your coffee out for that long. And that last thing we put on there was just eggshell grit. The worms use it to grind up their food. And now we're just adding some more shredded cardboard. And I want to make sure all this food is kind of covered up. So we'll dump in some more of our scrap paper towels and napkins. And that should help to do a good job of just kind of making sure everything is covered. Now this has a zipper and it is not, airtight. So certainly a gnat, if it really wanted to, can get in here and, lay its larvae. But this urban worm bag does a fantastic job of keeping the moisture in and not really letting any critters inside, which is great for some place like here in Florida in the summer, but really all year round. So just to make sure the flies and the gnats don't get in here, I'll just spray it down just a little bit more, just like that. So I think this feeding will get us well on our way towards boosting production and boosting the volume. And the other thing that's going to help is maybe coming in here in about 10 to 15 days instead of waiting 30 days, because I really want to get this built up to about here to really ramp it up and get the population of worms growing in here. The more volume they have to live, the more they'll reproduce. And if you want to check out just how much castings this urban worm bag can produce, check out this video right here from one of my latest harvests. So hope you're all having a great day. I hope your worm bins are doing fantastic. So happy vermicomposting, everybody. Take care now.